Welcome to the October 11th, 2023 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 5 p.m. Prior to roll call, I would like to make it clear for the record that the open session portion of this board meeting will be conducted pursuant to the Brown Act teleconferencing provisions. Vice President Luth is located at 407 North Virginia Street, Reno, Nevada, 89501. So now I'll call roll call, and I see we're all here, and Vice President Luth is available by phone. Please make sure your microphones are turned on, and please remember to talk directly into the microphone. Closed session. The Board of Directors will meet in closed session to discuss the following item. Public employment, section Special Labor Legal Counsel. Consider possible appointment of special counsel for labor matters pursuant to subsection B1 of Government Code, section 54957. Do we have any public comments on this? Seeing none, we will now adjourn to closed session. Okay, I'm now going to reopen to open session. Vice President Luth, confirming that you are on the line and you can hear us.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Also, that you are calling in from the teleconference location listed on the agenda, 407 North Virginia Street, Reno, Nevada.
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Welcome to the October 11th, 2023 regular board meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 6 p.m. and we will now begin the meeting and take roll call. So Director Evinger.
Present.
Director Krieger. Here. Director Howie. Here. Vice President Luth.
Here.
And I'm here. Okay. We have a report out of closed session.
Thank you, Board President DeMonico, for the closed session read into the record at 5 p.m. this evening. There's no reportable action.
Thank you, I say. Please rise for the flag salute. Please join me in a salute to the flag of the greatest country in the world. Ready? Begin. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing for our invocation in Chapel House.
Good evening, everybody. Let us pray. Father God, I just want to lift up today, Father. You gave us another cool day, a beautiful day, Father, and I just thank you for that. Lord, I want to lift up this meeting tonight, Father, that you would be in the midst of all conversations and decisions that are made tonight, Father. I want to lift up our first responders, Father, all of our firefighters that are working, and the ones that are home, that you would just protect them. A hedge of protection over their home, Father, and in the workplace, Father, that you would keep them safe on all call-outs, Father. I pray for our board members and all the families that are here tonight, Father. Just keep them safe, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chad. Please be seated. Could I ask everybody to please silence your cell phones? And next, Angela, do we have any changes to the agenda? No changes. Okay.
So the first item on our agenda is presentations and announcements, and we'll begin with the Employee Service Award for 30 years of service. And we will invite up a Battalion Chief, Joe DeSoto, to please come forward.
Joe.
Battalion Chief Joe DeSoto is a seasoned veteran of the fire district, serving this community for over 30 years. He, along with his wife Tina, reside in the city of Redlands. Their great accomplishments and joy include the kids and their spouse, and their granddaughter, Ruby Jo. All three DeSoto kids served in the military, and their oldest daughter, Daisy, is still serving in the Navy. Growing up in Southern California and graduating from Fontana High School, Joe pursued education at San Bernardino Valley College, Crafton Hills College, and Mount San Antonio College. He graduated from Columbia Southern University, which he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Fire Administration. Joe started with the fire district in the summer of 1991 as a Chino Valley fire inspector. In the fall of the same year, he was selected as a reserve firefighter on October 17, 1993. He was hired as a full-time firefighter for the district in 1998. Joe graduated from Mount San Antonio Paramedic Program and began working as a firefighter paramedic. He was promoted to the rank of engineer in 2011. Joe progressed to fire captain the following year. He later became a suppression training captain from January 2017 to January of 2019, making significant improvements in training, documentation, and safety coordination. In 2019, he was promoted to battalion chief. Joe is currently assigned to A shift. Joe's dedication to his work in the fire service has been clear. Over the course of his tenure, Joe has been the unofficial district artist, involved in many collaborative projects over the years, and they include the development of the past and current district logos, patches, and badges. He's been a member of the Safety Committee and the Facilities Committee. Facilities projects include the remodeling of Old Station 61, Station 66 kitchen, and 64's room addition, the development and building of Station 62, 63, 61, and 67, and the training center, and is currently assisting with the development of Station 68. He oversees the Explorer Post Committee, Lexipol, the USAR team, and telestaff. He has been involved in rookie training, search and rescue training, firefighter safety, and survival training, rapid intervention crew training, and rules of air management training. He also served as an EMS shift coordinator and CPR instructor. And he's also been a paramedic preceptor and EMS skills instructor. Excuse me, my glasses are fogging up. Outside of work, Joe enjoys cooking, grilling, woodworking, and traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina to visit his son Xander and daughter-in-law Caitlin, and hanging with Ruby Joe and his daughter Alyssa and son-in-law Gunnar. Congratulations and thank you for your 30 years of service to the Chino Valley Fire District, Joe. Thank you. We actually met before I came here. We actually we're on an incident together back when my previous life. So we had some fun that day.
We sure did.
Joe?
Yeah. So for the fire service, 30 years is really the pinnacle of what we try to get to. And so Joe has done that successfully, both in his promotions and he's done it safely. There's not a lot of people in this world that are born with lots of really neat gifts. Joe's one of those guys. If you get to know him personally in his woodworking, and he talked a little bit about his artistry and all that. But I had the experience to be working here at admin with Joe. And I can tell you firsthand that part of the reason that I'm a fire chief was I had a chance to observe Joe in his behaviors in the administrative role. When he's given an assignment, he does it super thoroughly, and he just does a wonderful job. And so I had a chance to sit next to Joe in my office and watch him day in, day out and say, man, how come I don't know that? How come I didn't do it that way? So Joe, thank you for your mentorship for me. Thank you for your friendship. Congratulations on your 30 years. Thank you to your family for letting us have them. Thank you.
It's very sweet.
Joe, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, man.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But
Oh, no, I mean, 30 years, 30 years is a long time. Actually, when I was a kid, I didn't think I was going to be a firefighter, didn't know anything about the fire service, thought I was going to be an architect, and 30-some years later, here I am. Found my way to the fire service and figured out that it was actually my calling, and I loved every minute of it. So 30 years is a long time to sacrifice from your family. It's a lot of sacrifice, but the things that I gained back from this district and this job has just been overwhelming. So, no, 30 years is a really, really long time, and it happens really, really quick. So, that's what I
Joe,
can
thank
say.
you so much for
Yeah,
your 30
thank
years
you.
of service. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Next, for a 30-year service award, Deputy Chief Carlos Skibar.
Deputy Chief Carlos Skibar was hired in 1993 as a firefighter. Chief Skibar was promoted to engineer in 2003, captain in 2008, battalion chief in 2019, and then to deputy chief in 2021, where he served in support services and is currently now in operations. Chief Skibar grew up in Ontario and attended Ontario High School. He attended Mount Sac, where he obtained his degree in fire technology in 1995. In 2005, he attended Biola University, where he studied organizational leadership. In 2017, he received his master's degree in biblical studies from Louisiana Baptist University and his doctorate in psychology just this past year. He is currently attending Ashland University for Government and American History. Chief Skibar first joined the fire district in 1990 as a fire explorer. He became a reserve firefighter in 1991 and was part of the PCF program, which is a paid call firefighter program, and became a reserve fire inspector in 1991. He was also a reserve firefighter for the Laverne Fire Department and a student intern with the LA City Fire Department before being hired as a full-time firefighter with the district in 1993. During his career, Chief Skibar has been a leading member of the Hazardous Materials Team, Urban Search and Rescue Team, and the Swift Water Rescue Teams. He created the Homeland Security Program and active shooter training for the CVFD. He currently serves as a terrorism liaison officer, a member of the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and the Terror Early Warning Group. As a training captain in 2013, he brought innovative concepts to the district. Chief Skibar is currently the leader for the Trail Life and a member of the Chino Kiwanis Club. Chief Skibar resides in Ontario with his wife, Erica, son Ezekiel, who is 7 years old, and daughter Hattie, who is 2 years old. Carlos is involved in various ministries within his church and enjoys being a Bible student. He also delights in ocean sports with his family and enjoys fishing, surfing, stand-up paddling, and outrigger canoeing. Other hobbies of his are woodworking, metalworking, and restoring old vehicles. Congratulations and thank you for your 30 years of service to the Chino Valley Fire District, Carlos. Thank you.
So Carlos, this is a pretty special one for me because this is the first time I've had the opportunity to honor our personal axes, which represents the 30 years of service. But Carlos was the first deputy chief that I promoted as well. So I've never had the opportunity to work day by day with someone who's a PhD, and I know Ezekiel gave him the thumbs up on that one. But the one thing that I can say about Carlos that's super refreshing and always places us on firm footing is that he's a man of integrity. So when Carlos says something, it's the truth. You don't have to worry about it. And so we appreciate your consistent approach to things and the value that you add to the team. And the little one let me know your new nickname for us is going to be Popeye. Thumbs up for Ezekiel. That's it. All right, bud. Congratulations. Thank you. And thank you, Erica.
Carlos,
Sure. Just like Joe, we've been here a while. Actually, Joe and I came on together. It's been an awesome journey. I've learned so much in between. I'm still learning today. So the district has afforded me those opportunities, which has been very awesome. And here she comes.
Get over here.
Is that Popeye?
But no, I definitely appreciate working with everybody. I've got you know a lot of times you think you come into the fire service with a bunch of friends, you end up leaving with family. So yeah, thank you.
she's good.
But other than that, no, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I love working for Chino Valley Fire. Thank you. I actually feel like cutting a hole.
It's been a while since you've been here.
Thank you. Congratulations to our honorees. We're going to now move on to the Employee Wellness Program presentation, and we invite up Captain Matt Gonzalez to come forward.
Hello and good evening, everybody. So tonight, I just want to start by saying thank you for the opportunity to discuss our wellness program here at the district. So the mission of the wellness program here at the district is taking care of our own. That's like our mission statement. Our main goal is to focus on our people, to make sure that we have everything in place to make sure our people are taken care of, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, and medically. So we'll talk about some history of the wellness, where it started, when it started, and where we are now. So the district began its risk prevention / wellness program in '92. It was kind of separate at that point. The risk prevention was focused on early detection of health problems, and they did that through the pre-employment exams, and also did the annual physicals. This would help find early detection problems with back injuries, ortho injuries, and cardiovascular issues. At that time, the wellness program was kind of separate and really focused on fitness, equipment, purchasing, and replacing. In 2019, the Wellness Committee was then restructured, and our goal was to encompass a multitude of health aspects. So our goal was to attack this as a more total wealth or total wellness point of view. We wanted to hit on the physical fitness, the nutrition, the health benefits that we get from each of those, cancer awareness and prevention, and also mental health. That was something that we didn't have at the district was mental health awareness or cancer prevention and awareness. So starting with the fitness and nutrition, when we restructured the wellness team or the wellness committee, we decided to break it up into 3 subcategories. We have our fitness and nutrition team, we have our cancer prevention and awareness team, and then we have our mental health portion of the committee. So starting with the fitness and nutrition team, their main goal is to focus on obviously fitness, but their intent is to update the equipment at each one of the fire stations, replace outdated equipment, purchase new equipment, and this helps us to minimize potential risk injury when we have new and updated fitness equipment. They've gone and created certified training regimens for our new hire orientation program. This allows us to implement different PTs for different days so that the recruits would have different PT levels for different days. They're also in charge of maintaining current equipment in the gym spaces with our biannual servicing program. And then we also have outside vendors that maintain the fitness equipment and replace damaged or broken equipment. We've also been working as the Wellness Committee directly with the Station 8 development team, and we are developing the wellness area or the gym space at Station 68. This is the first time that the Wellness Committee has actually been part of the development of a gym space in one of our stations, and I see it being a huge benefit moving forward so that we actually are focusing and trying to bring that culture to the district with having a nice area for fitness. Then we talk about nutrition. Our goal is we've been bringing outside experts, licensed professionals, and nutritionists into the district to have these conversations with our guys, our people, so that we can talk about the importance of nutrition and going along with everything else that coincides with nutrition, whether it be physical health, mental health, and everything else. Cancer prevention. So the cancer prevention portion of the wellness team is really based heavily on research and trends in the fire service, and what we do is we'll look at a lot of the research, whether it's from IAF, IFF, CPF, or the Firefighter Cancer Support Network. What we do is we then look at the research studies and trends in the fire service, and then we can implement those things through the different committees or various committees we have within the district. Some of the recent things that we've worked with other teams with is our clean cab implementation, so the new engines that we just had delivered a few years ago. Those were our first engines that were delivered for the clean cab concept. With the clean cab concept, we no longer house any of the turnouts, breathers, or anything, or any of the contaminated tools and equipment inside the cab, which alleviates our exposure or minimizes our exposure to any of those carcinogens or anything else that could cause harm. Also with the PPE or the personal protective equipment, Engineer Brett Mattson also sits on the cancer prevention team with me, and he oversees and chairs the PPE committee. So it's a streamlined event where we can look at trends in the fire service, whether it's PPE or other tools or equipment that we can use to help mitigate from exposure from carcinogens. And then post-incident decon or decontamination, we've kind of gone from everyone having dirty turnouts and how dirty your helmet could be to implementing a culture of, hey, let's keep our stuff clean, let's minimize the exposure, and then implementing the post-incident decon. So after any major incident, we're trying to gross decon all the large-scale contaminants off of us before entering the cab so that we're minimizing exposure. So mental health, this was a big one that we've been working on for the last few years to really bring forward to the district. We've always had some mental health support, and we've been getting our professional services from the Counseling Team International. But our big hurdle was reducing the stigma that we have within the district for seeking help. So a lot of the people that are drawn to the fire service are typically a type A personality. They don't like to admit that there's anything wrong with them, and a lot of times this creates unhealthy patterns. So when doing this, we've been working to get the peer support together, and then also kind of destigmatizing the it's okay to not be okay. This helps equip our personnel with healthy coping mechanisms, positively impacts relationships both professionally and personally, and the early intervention helps mitigate the impacts of PTS. We've seen large strides from the state of California as far as pushing forward assembly bills to help destigmatize PTS and make it known that these calls are affecting us, making it available for us to have workman's comp claims for PTS. This contributes to the overall safety and well-being to our people and also the public, so we can easily mitigate emergencies. So talking about the peer support team that we put together, the team was officially put in place in 2022. Myself and Battalion Chief Greg Gable have been working on this project since 2020. We started with first electing 10 suppression personnel that were chosen from the floor. We felt that this would be a huge benefit, is having people elected from within so that they could have that trust and support with our members. Alongside of the suppression personnel, our administrative staff elected 3 peers to go and go to the training for the peer support. At this point, everybody's had the basic peer support training, and that was conducted by TCTI. The suppression personnel have continued on and have accomplished the advanced peer support training, and then also critical incident stress management, which is going to help us further down the road with debriefings and diffusings of critical incidents. Future training for peer support. So we would like to continue to make us a more well-rounded peer support team. So we have some additional classes that we will be attending, and they are the suicide prevention and intervention, wellness in the workplace and leisure, the effects of burnout and compassion fatigue, and the importance of stress management for public safety personnel. Our latest program that we are working on currently is our Therapy Canine program. Currently I am fostering a dog from Paws for Success. She'll be a year old next month. And currently we are working on the training aspect and then the policy finalization, and hopefully that can happen soon so that we continue training and actually get the dog on site. The Therapy Canine will serve our personnel and also the public during and following critical incidents. It helps with debriefings, diffusings, and just having a dog around. Everyone likes dogs. So Canine promotes stress reduction and calmness in fire personnel, and it also assists in boosting morale in the firehouse. Chaplain services, this has been here for a while, and these guys are amazing. Provides service to the community during major incidents. It also helps us on calls that we have, whether it's leaving a deceased on scene, helping the families cope, giving that spiritual guidance that they need. Helps us get back into service a lot sooner. Offers spiritual coaching to all district personnel, leads invocations for the board meetings, council meetings, and special events. They've also established the Chino Valley chapter for Firefighters for Christ and started the First Responders Ministry for our community. So, like I said, our goal, our mission with the Wellness Committee is keeping our people safe, making sure that they are taken care of physically, nutritionally, mentally, and medically. One of the biggest things that jumps out at us is our suicide rates are among the highest in any profession. National Fallen Firefighters Foundation says that they have 200 firefighter deaths each year by suicide. So that's double the rate of any general population. The district is proactively asking measures to assist in mental fitness for our personnel, so whether that's through our peer support, mental health aspects, everything that we're trying to do as a district that you guys are supporting us to do. The district is also researching new and improved ways to conduct debriefings and diffusings. So after those critical incidents, a lot of times we don't really have the means to sit down and actually debrief from the call or diffuse the call or recognize if there's any issues with anybody. And moving forward, it'll be, put in policy like that'll be something that we will do, which will help mitigate a lot of these issues. So, the Wellness Committee has come a long way in the last few years. And I thank you for everyone's support here. We couldn't have done any of this without the board support, administration support. But we do have some future goals we'd like to obtain. We would like to update the fitness areas to accommodate personnel and minimize risk for injury. A lot of our stations that were built previous to Station 68, obviously, but they were not in consideration for fitness. There's really no places for fitness or that to take place, and we're trying to bring that culture within the district to expand the fitness. Another thing we're looking at doing is offering access to licensed professionals, whether it's in fitness or nutrition, that would be available for all district employees. Nutrition is very important in any health aspect, whether it's mental health, physical health. So we're trying to get that available. One of the big things that we're trying to work on between Chief Gable and myself is work on expanded annual physicals. At this time, we currently have a physical, our annual physicals are in place. It checks the boxes, but we'd like to expand that to, make sure that our people are getting everything that's available to them for early cancer detection, body scans, blood screening, and everything that's out there that we can get for our people. Obviously, we'd like to continue training for the district's peer support team. And the next thing that we will be working on, that we're currently working on, is finalizing the therapy canine policy. So lastly, I'd like to say thank you to all the board members, administration, and all the staff here on the floor that's been supporting us over the last few years to let the wellness committee grow to where it is, and hopefully in the future we can reach our full potential. Any questions?
Just one thing, Matt, I went to Kansas City to Firefighter International this year, and there was a huge emphasis on the mental health side of it. I mean, there were so many breakout sessions that they were really, really focused on nationally, and I'm really glad to see that you've got that implemented here locally. And also, the clean cab kind of concept is really important, and make sure that cancer-causing agents aren't brought into the cab at the end of an incident. So I'm super pleased that you guys are so proactive in what you do to make everybody healthier and better. Good job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And I just want to thank you for the presentation today and for everyone who's on staff on board on this committee. And I really love the fact that you have expanded this program from where it was to today to where we need to be, and continuing to make it to evolve. So I think it was great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the update.
And just a comment, I'd have to have this brought forward for presentation because we haven't seen all the things that have been implemented in a few years. And just so glad to see this program is moving forward. I mean, the fire service has changed tremendously in the last 50 years. 50 years ago, I mean, just watch the old episodes of Emergency and look at the difference in what we're doing today. I mean, it's really significant. And not only mental health, but the physical aspects and everything else that goes along with the job is very, very demanding. And if we don't do these things that try and take care of our folks now, then they're not going to have a long, happy retirement. And that's just a sad, hard truth of it. So I'm glad we're doing this. Glad we're in the therapy dog business. I absolutely have my heart goes with that because I have a service dog myself, and I know the difference they make in your life. Now you just, because I got mine from Foster Success too. Did you change the name of your dog, or do you keep the name?
We have not.
Okay,
So
I did.
My daughter was set on something, but she's kind of bought off on the
Because
name.
you can do that.
Yeah, well, we're still looking into it, but yeah, we're.
And I actually got to meet the dog the week before you picked her up.
Oh, okay.
I was over there for training, and she was
Oh,
there.
perfect.
But I'm so happy we're doing that, and I totally support that. So, and thank you. And enjoy. Riley's her name now.
Yes.
But I think she'll be a tremendous asset to our district. So
Absolutely.
thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Comments?
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, President DeMonico. We'll take a 5-minute.
Okay, we'll meet back here at 6:35. We'll take a 7-minute break.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to call our meeting back to order.
So next to each other.
Okay. So the next item on our agenda will be a public hearing. President DeMonico, yes, would you please,
Okay, okay, no, I'll do this. Public hearing, the public hearing for weed abatement is now open.
item is properties declared for fall weed abatement. Purpose is for the public to comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement. Report by Fire Marshal Danielle O'Toole.
Good evening, President DeMonico and members of the board. During our initial fall inspections, it was determined that several properties were found to be in violation of Resolution 2023-06 and our Vegetation Management Ordinance. Properties that met the criteria were mailed a notice and were given until today to abate the hazard. Failure to take corrective action is subject to an administrative citation and further action by our office to abate the hazard. Our office will begin re-inspections tomorrow. In accordance with our resolution, we are to hold a public hearing allowing property owners to address the board on this matter. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review public comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement and subsequent actions and charges, as well as make any rulings on any and all objections raised regarding the proposed removal of weeds and said charges.
Okay. Clerk of the board, do we have any public comments on this agenda item?
I have no written request to speak. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board on this item? We do have one request to speak.
Yes, it's to,
Charlie, can you come to the podium, please?
sure, then I'm gonna have to turn around and speak to, we're using, I hope there's a little grace period in here, because we're using Sawa, who works for the city, to do what Austin sent us to do. And because they get all the permits, and they know all about the vegetation, you're probably gonna use them anyway, I would think. But if we don't have a grace period, they haven't started yet. And we know what has to happen. So, I'm just asking for a little grace period because they've got to go down into the creek, pull all the palm trees out, which they've done for the city, and then they have to do all the biomass removal too.
So, yeah, just if you want to send Austin an email if you haven't already done so, and then we'll just need confirmation from Sawa. But yes,
Okay.
based on environmental.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other requests to speak? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. This is the time for the board to comment. Any board comments? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion in a second.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Director Krieger and a second by Director Evancher. All those in favor? Let's do a roll call. We have Harvey, you're on the line. We'll do a roll call vote. So we'll do Director Evancher,
Yes.
Director Krieger,
Yes.
Director Howie,
Yes.
Vice President Luth,
Yes.
and I vote yes myself. Motion passes 5-0.
The next item on our agenda is public communications. This is the time and place for the public to address the Board of Directors about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. The public may address items on the agenda at the time addressed by the board, and the board may provide a brief response or defer to staff after the public comment period. Due to board policy and Brown Act requirements, action may not be taken on any issue not on the agenda. When you address the board, please state your name and address prior to making your remarks, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. I have no written request to speak under public communications. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none. The next item on our agenda is liaison reports to the fire district, and we invite up Suzette Ding, San Bernardino County 4th District.
Sorry, can't take me anywhere, always making a mess. Good evening, President DeMonico, Vice President Luth, Board of Directors, Chief, Deputy Chiefs, audience members, Suzette Deng with your County 4th District Supervisor Kurt Hagman's office. I have 2 announcements tonight. On Wednesday, November 8th, between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Supervisor Hagman will be hosting an annual Veteran Claims event at the district office located 14010 City Center Drive in Chino Hills. County Veteran Service officers will be on site to answer any questions about existing claims or conduct benefit assessment interviews, complete claim forms and paperwork, issue San Bernardino County Veterans ID, and file compensation claims. Please bring your form, DD Form 214, and lunch will be provided by Supervisor Hagman. We hope to serve many veterans in our community, so please share this event information with your family, your friends, your neighbors, or anyone who may benefit from this event. And please save the date. Supervisor Hagman's annual Christmas open house is coming up, and the date has been set for Thursday, December 7th, between 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., and it will be held at the lobby of Chino Hills City Hall, located 14000 City Center Drive. Additional details on how to RSVP for this event is on the flyer in the back. As a QR code, we are getting fancier, so you don't have to type it in. All you got to do is scan it. As always, you can always contact our district office for any questions. If you need any assistance in making your RSVP, please let us know. And that is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we invite Mayor Pro Tem Karen Comstock, City of Chino.
Good evening, President DeMonico, directors, Chief Williams, command staff. I'm sorry I didn't get the memo about the pink, so, I mean, even this gentleman here got the memo, but I'll do my best. It's nice to see you all supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Karen Comstock, from Liaison to the Fire Board from the City of Chino. It's time for us to do Chino Residential Community Cleanup. We'd like to remind Chino residents that the city's free residential community cleanup is taking place on Saturday, October 14th, in collaboration with Waste Management. This event will run from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 13793 Redwood Street in the City of Chino. It's the perfect opportunity for our residents to responsibly dispose of bulky unwanted items such as old tires, electronics, and bricks. I know we all have a ton of bricks sitting around the house. Participants are asked to bring proof of Chino residency, such as a California ID and a utility bill, but I don't think they'll accept palm trees, just so you know. Hazardous waste will not be accepted at this event, but is accepted at the city's household hazardous waste collection held on the second and fourth Saturdays monthly. For more information about either program, please call 909-334-3266. Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce Annual Business Expo. Our partners at the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce are hosting their annual Business Expo on Saturday, October 28th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the shops here in Chino Hills. We invite our local business community to participate in this experience. It is a great opportunity to foster connections and engage with fellow businesses and prospective clients. This event is not just for businesses, though. It's a day of community spirit and support, a chance for our residents to back local enterprises while enjoying live music, entertainment, food, and more. This event is open to all with free admission for attendees. For more details on this, please contact the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce website at www.chinovalleychamber.com. And Halloween Spooktacular. Halloween is just around the corner, so plan to bring your young ghouls and goblins to the City of Chino's Halloween Spooktacular, which will take place on Tuesday, October 31st. If you've never attended the Spooktacular, it's well attended, it's a huge event, and it's fun to see the kids in their costumes that night. We will be gathering at Ruben S. Ayala Park, specifically on fields 11 and 12, and 13 from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening. You can expect carnival rides, delightful food stalls, and some eerie entertainment for everyone. For details on the purchase and pickup of pre-sale carnival wristbands and all things Halloween Spooktacular, please visit the City of Chino at our website, www.cityofchino.org/Halloween. And I just remind you, even though it was nice and cool today, that we're keeping our splash pad open at Monte Vista Park if you need a place to cool off. It'll be open right now on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. through October 29th. That completes my liaison report. It's always good to see you. I'm fresh off the plane, ciao from Rome. It was a great 13 days there, but I'm very happy and grateful to be back on American soil. Any questions from the board or the command staff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Karen?
Yes, sir.
Karen, I was trying to determine how your jet lag was doing, but I'm glad you made it. And so did you get a chance to play any tennis on any clay courts while you were there?
No, sir, I wanted to, but when you're inside the walls of Rome, it's hard to find a tennis court.
Right?
Yes, yeah, so, but I think I would have to travel outside, perhaps to Madrid for that. Yeah, I think it would be better.
There you go. Well,
Yeah.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's good to see all of you.
See you again.
And next, Councilmember Art Bennett, City of Chino Hills.
Thank you, Karen, for making some of my announcements. I appreciate it. Welcome to President DeMonico, board members, command staff. Thank you for allowing me to be here this evening. First, I wanted to mention congratulations to Joe and to Carlos on the 30 years of service. We're just hoping we keep you a few more at least. We know that you've got a lot, you're young enough to where you can still invest a few more years here before you leave, but congratulations on well-deserved recognition of 30 years of service. 30 years anywhere is great, so I appreciate that very much. That wellness report was wonderful. I was happy to hear about the canine program. Canine and equestrian therapy stuff is being adapted by many organizations. The Pause for Success, obviously, John has a dog from there. My wife and I have one that we've had over a year. David Harrison over there does a great job, and I would encourage you to make monetary donations to that organization. They have a $500,000 annual budget because their goal is to try and place 50 service dogs in first responders' possession, be it firefighters, police, and veterans, and it costs about $10,000, and that's a deal for them to train a dog, and you can ask and John to attest to that. It was funny when he was showing the pictures of that. One picture in the wellness report showed a staircase going up with a bunch of firefighters in full gear. Well, I recognize that. That's the stairway right next to the One Bank building. I spent 10 years working in that building for Arthur Anderson, the big accounting firm. And it is 72 floors, but by the time you go up to the helipad, it's 75 floors. I occasionally would walk between our offices on the 24 to 32nd floor and would almost die going up those stairs. But annually they have races. People actually race that whole distance up. But if you can ever get up on the helipad, I was able to get up there a couple times. And it's scary being up on top of that building, but it brought back fond memories, seeing those guys, and to think that they're in full gear going up and down. I guess they do it every year. So I got off on a few other things. We do have a few things coming up when it comes to Halloween. We've got several events that are coming up. As mentioned, besides the event in Chino, they have the shops, has their event going on Tuesday, October 31st. It will be from 3 to 5 at the shops. It's usually right at the T intersection next to the stage. That will be coming up. I attended the Correctional Institute for Women and Correctional Institute for Men meetings yesterday morning, and they are going to be having events at their locations. They are not looking for monetary donations, but if you are inclined to be able to buy a few bags of candy, you can get those to them, and it would be greatly appreciated. So, and if you need that information, I can get it through the city website and get you who to contact over there. Other than that, we've got a couple meetings coming up. We have the Chino Hills Historical Society is having a meeting coming up on Monday the 16th at 7 p.m. It will be over they're going to be talking about the whole centennial of Sleepy Hollow and Carbon Canyon. Of course, our buddy Charlie over here can probably tell you about, he was around, I think, when they first opened that up 100 years ago. At least we feel like it, don't we?
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sorry, Charlie. That's a commercial about tuna, isn't it?
I think I look pretty good for 110.
I tell you what, and I'm older than you, so yeah, I think you look good. At any rate, all humor aside. One thing, last night at our council meeting, it got rather interesting, but the thing that I closed in my comments about is something that I want you to consider this evening in your adjournment. We all know the atrocities that are going on over in Israel right now. Our communities of Chino and Chino Hills have a significant Jewish population. And that is a community that is deep-seated in faith, and the nation of Israel is something that has been under attack for all too many years. And I would ask everybody or encourage everybody to pray for that nation, pray for our country as well, because right now with the loss and vacancy in the Speaker of House position, we've got to get that position filled so that the Congress can act on some of the things that we may need to do to help out the nation of Israel. So it's a very touch and go thing. It's a very spiritual thing that we need to talk about. But at any rate, I would just encourage everybody to keep those people in your heart and prayers, because anyone who hasn't been to war and has not experienced what goes on at war can't fathom what is going on over there. It's one thing, we talk about 9/11. That was isolated. It was a horrible event, and you guys give an annual remembrance of that, which is very, very good. But that happened in one location. Can you imagine being rocketed, 5,500 missiles in that the first couple days? Thankfully, our families in the United States have never had to experience their homes and their cities and everything being blown up and killing people indiscriminately. And I'll get down off my soapbox, but just so many times we are just absolutely just oblivious to what goes on in other places of the earth and even other areas of the city. But keep these people and that country in your thought and prayers. And with that, thank you very much for allowing me to talk.
Sir, thank you.
Next is Pete Roebuck, Chino Valley Fire Foundation.
Good morning, President DeMonico, members of the board, command staff. I'm actually the proxy to the proxy to the proxy. Normally it's Mark Bozak, then Jeff Taitula, so it kind of defaulted to me tonight. Tonight I'm going to ask you guys for support for an event we have coming up on November 2nd. It's going to be the biggest fundraiser that the foundation has ever done. It's going to be a Topgolf event, and this event goes to support the foundation and all the foundation does. They provide the AEDs throughout the community. They support Make a Child Smile, and they support our guys on calls. I'll give you a quick story of a call that I was on where we had went on a call in Los Serranos. The lady's oven had caught on fire. We went there. Unfortunately, she was cooking cookies for Christmas, or baking cookies for Christmas rather, and we had to shut it down and take it out of service and put it in her backyard. And she was in tears because that's what she does for Christmas for all her families in the surrounding neighborhood. And through the foundation, we were able to call them. They got an oven delivered the next day. We were able to put it in, and she made cookies. Brought them to the station too, so it was really great. So it's something where 100% of what we raise goes back to the community. And this is the biggest event. So I implore you to support our event. November 2nd, it's going to be a good time, and please reach out to all your service groups and everybody that you know in the community. We really want to make this successful. Thank you.
Hey Pete, just real quick, I just wanted for clarification, you don't get credit for date night tonight with the missus.
No,
It doesn't count. Just
I
wanna make
actually
sure.
tricked her. I told her we were going to the farmer's market. And I'm like, surprised we got to go to the board meeting.
still have time.
All right, thank you.
Next is Chair Charlie Blank, Fire Safe Council.
Chairman DeMonico, members of the board, members of the command staff, Chief Williams. I'm not sure I can beat any of those speeches, but anyway. The only thing I want to talk about is we had our semi-annual brush pickup on Saturday, and we were pretty lucky. Western Waste, I have to give them credit. They really do a great job of providing the bins and picking them up on time. And we filled 2 40-yard dumpsters with all sorts of leaves and trash and palm fronds, all right? And the biggest thing for us was, and actually for the Boy Scouts of America, was the fact that they had 6 of their scouts were able to get credit towards their first merit badge. These kids are all in junior high. And actually, I talked to the guy who brought them, and he would like us to do it every 6 months. And all they really need to do, and we gave them some information about that too, is the kids have to draw a diagram of their home with exits and, you know, everything else that we print out for people. They have to draw the thing. But it was pretty nice to see the kids, and they worked hard, especially the second shift, which was 10 to 1, where it was a little hotter. But they didn't back off at all. They all had safety equipment, and they did a very nice job. That's all I have. Thank you.
Do you have any other liaison representatives present tonight who would like to address the board? Seeing none, next item on the agenda is the consent calendar.
Consent calendar, do we have any public comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. Would any board member like to pull an item from the consent calendar for discussion?
Number 7, please.
Director Krieger wants to pull number 7. Do we have any others? I'll take a motion on the remainder of the consent calendar.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Got a motion by Director Evinger and a second by Director Howie. All those, well, we're gonna do a roll call, Harvey. Director Evinger,
Yes.
Director Howie,
Yes.
Director Krieger,
Yes.
Vice President Luth,
He's trying. Try to get.
Vice President Luth,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion is approved 5-0. Item number 7.
Yeah, this is, I think, a long time coming, work comp ADR, alternative dispute resolution when it comes to workers' compensation. I'd just like to hear a little bit more about this. If somebody could give me a brief synopsis without reading verbatim what it says in the staff report.
Thank you, Director Krieger. I'll have Human Resource Director Royal will address that.
Sure. Good evening and thank you. California law allows for management and union representatives to create what is referred to as an alternative dispute resolution, or as it's commonly referred to here as a carve-out program, to amend the workers' compensation program, which is governed by California state law. HR staff and the Fire Association met a couple of times to discuss the proposed changes. The agreed-to changes include a streamlined process for work-related injuries, provides for a nurse case manager to be assigned early in the process should one be needed, and if necessary, use of the mediation process, which could reduce the cost of any disputed claims. Doctors with specialties have been identified. These credible physicians will be able to quickly see our firefighters in order to address their injury in a quicker fashion than what we are currently used to. Because of the agreed-to changes, we anticipate our injured workers will return to work faster, which should reduce the cost of the state-mandated injury pay and overtime. Some of you may know if a safety officer is injured, they are entitled to 1 year of full pay. And that could have a very adverse impact on district, municipal budgets, et cetera. So we anticipate our workers getting back to work a lot quicker. That pretty much summarizes the proposed changes, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. One thing I do need to add is that we have identified physicians, and if we find out that those physicians aren't seeing our employees in a quick fashion, we can easily amend that list. Just a quick meeting with the association and so forth. So I want to thank, since he's here, I want to thank Pete Robeck and his team for bringing this forward. And whenever the union typically brings me something, I'm very suspicious of it. But I reached out to colleagues in other agencies, one being at OCFA, and an individual who hired me over 20 years ago, and I asked him, what is your thought on this carve-out program? He says, well, if you can get the union to agree to it, it could be a good thing. I said, well, oddly enough, the union's bringing it to us. And I reached out to the risk manager over at OCFA, and she and I worked together many, many years ago, and it's a great program for them. It's proven very effective. So we'll see how it works for us here. I anticipate the same thing for us.
Excellent, thank you. I know Pete and I have actually discussed this for a while now, so I'm glad to see that we're trying something a little bit different to help reduce the cost. Is there a way to measure this over time, and what is that time frame? And then can we see
Yeah, that's something Finance Director Mark Shager and I discussed. The last couple of years, they've been anomalies because of COVID and all the assumed risks associated with COVID. So our workers' comp numbers are really skewed. So I think from this point going forward, we can see the return to work time, which will automatically, it doesn't even take much to figure out if somebody's getting back to work in 3 months compared to maybe 6 months or a year. Obviously, the costs are going to be reduced. But this is something that there's certain metrics that we can use to identify these costs. And if the board is so inclined, I can even bring those up when we have our budget process. Probably not, maybe next year if we get this rolled out quick enough. We should have it rolled out by December, no later than January. So by budget process next year, I might have some credible numbers to look at.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other comments?
No.
With that, I move for approval.
I'll second that.
Have a motion by Director Krieger, second by Director Evinger. Roll call vote. Director Evinger?
Yes.
Director Howie? Yes. Director Krieger?
Yes.
Vice President Luth?
Yes.
And I vote yes, so the motion passes 5-0.
The next item is under new business, item number 11, the purchase of 2 Pierce fire engines. The purpose is for the board to review and discuss the proposed purchase of 2 Pierce Type 1 engines, report by Acting Deputy Chief Dean Smith.
Good evening, President DeMonico, Board of Directors. I'm pleased to present to you for your consideration and discussion the matter of purchasing 2 Pierce Type 1 engine companies for scheduled replacement of 2 frontline engines. Staff has identified prolonged build times for specialty heavy apparatus such as fire engines and ladder trucks over the last 2 years. Staff has been meeting with industry experts and company representatives to identify the causes of increasing build times ranging from 1.5 to over 4 years. Industry experts indicate that increasing demand for purchase orders, significant supply chain issues, and depleted skilled workforce all contribute to the increasing build times or delays. Based on the fact that the fire apparatus build times, the screen seems to be doing what it wants to do. No. Based on the fact that the fire apparatus build times over the past 2 years have been steadily increasing instead of decreasing, which we anticipated, staff began a complex analysis to determine how such delays could impact our regularly scheduled fleet replacement plan. The district primarily utilizes Pierce manufactured apparatus for our fire engines. I have a picture of one here on the screen for you. Currently, Pierce is quoting delivery times of 4 to 4 1/4 years for production. Through our analysis, we identified that there is a need to reserve our position in line for building of these 2 engine companies within the next 4 years, specifically Medicagen 63, which will be 13 years old in 4 years, and Medicagen 66, which will be 10 years old in 4 years, and both are projected to have over 100,000 miles of frontline 911 service. Staff worked with the Apparatus Committee to evaluate other manufacturer platforms for Type 1 engines and maintains that Pierce products continues to offer peak operational excellence for our staff. In addition, the familiarity with this platform allows our crews to function at their peak during stressful incidents due to the common operating platform in terms of layout, fit, and function. In addition, CVFD's support services mechanics are able to maintain parts and availability and enjoy working on engines from the same manufacturers, resulting in increased proficiency. Staff presented to the Finance Committee and now to the board at large 2 purchasing options when considering the purchase replacement of these engines: prepayment and payment on delivery. In working with our finance director, Mr. Shaker, staff is recommending the payment on delivery option, as we believe that maintaining these funds and utilizing the district's investment options will outpace Pierce's offered discounts. The price quotes received through South Coast Fire, which is Pierce's distributor locally, includes competitive proposal processes through the HGAC, or Houston Galveston Area Consortium, which comply with the district's purchasing policy for competitive bid. By practice, the district routinely reserves a 10% contingency for minor changes in the final build specifications. So the total for 2 Pierce Type 1 engines is $2,552,774.84, with that including the 10% contingency. Therefore, it is recommended that the Board of Directors approve agreement number 2023-15 for the proposed encumbrance of funds associated with the purchase of 2 Pierce replacement Type 1 engines Proposed as stated herein for the two Type 1 Pierce Enforcer puck fire engines would be in the amount of $320,704.40 with a 10% contingency for a total consideration of $2,552,774.84, and authorize the fire chief to execute all related purchase documents on behalf of the district. And with that, that concludes my comments, and welcome discussion and questions.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to see if anybody from the public would like to speak on this item. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. Would anybody on the board like to speak on this item?
I spoke with Pierce at Fire Rescue International and was astonished that the time frame has gone from 3 to 4 years. There are a few other vendors that are out there. I think that we were in the middle purchasing another one.
That's correct.
That's a 1.5 time frame. Why aren't we using that vendor versus this? Is it because that one's really more, we have that one to go up to the canyon?
Yeah, that's a great question. I know last month the board considered and approved the purchase of a replacement engine that was burned, and that is the Spartan engine, or the Spartan platform that you're referring to. That's a specialty type apparatus with a shorter wheelbase, smaller compartments, and is designed for a wildland urban interface type of engine. We see that predominantly, the main use for that, we utilize it in Station 4's area. While it could be used at other areas, it just doesn't provide us the space. When we look at even the engine that's before us on the picture, the Medic Engine 62 placard in the back, that's a large compartment that allows for all of our paramedic and ALS, advanced life support equipment. It just has a lot more room for things like auto pulse, our defibrillators, and things like that. We can put that on there, but as you know, sometimes that space is super helpful, even to grab that equipment and get into our patient and attend care. So this offers the more space. They both are Type 1 capability, and our apparatus committee did evaluate Spartan along with Seagrave and other vendors as well in the marketplace. And we really feel like this provides us the best sustained opportunity. And that's why we really came back with taking a look at this particular vendor and having to look out. Fortunately, we're not in a position where we need a unit this next year or the year after, and that's why forecasting and looking down the road, these 2 units will be the ones to be replaced, and we have the time to do so if we act now.
Okay, the other question I have is, by authorizing this today, doesn't this more of a, maybe Mark and Dave question here, it doesn't preclude us from asking for state funds, federal funds through to maybe cover one of these engines down the road, does it?
That's a tricky question. Mark, can you help with that one? I'm not certain of the answer on that.
Well, similarly for Station 68, that's on order, but it really depends on how the ask is worded. Okay. So as long as we're upfront, we ordered this, we're committing funds towards it, but we're not actually going to pay until it's delivered, then I think there's still room for support on that.
Okay, good, thank you.
Is there a cancellation clause in there that we can, if we decide we don't want or we find something better in the meantime? I guess that kind of puts them in a bad situation.
Yeah,
But what about that?
Yeah, Director Halley, great question. There are 3 phases within here that have a cancellation, and they, for example, the further along we go within the 3rd phase, we're on the hook for a percentage of the total purchase. And so, initially, once the blueprints are finalized, for example, 10%, and then 15%, and then 20%, once we get materials for production towards the latter part of those 3 percentages. So we would be on the hook. There are cancellations availability to us, but there are, if you will, some monetary penalties for that.
Okay.
I would assume another agency would want to swoop in and.
Yeah, they want to, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that we actually already have the knowledge that we know that we need these pieces of apparatus, so shy of something financially catastrophic to the district, I don't think that that's gonna be a concern that it's a great question, but I think that we're in solid ground with what our needs are.
Right. And this isn't that we need them today, but we're gonna need them 4 years from now.
Okay.
All right?
Good.
Thank you.
Questions?
Vice President Luth, any comments?
No, we discussed it in finance. I appreciate the questions, though.
Okay. And I do have some comments because we did discuss this at Finance Committee and talked a lot about this. First of all, we got a 4.25 year build time on this. Is there any guarantees we'll have this in 4.25 years? Or could this go past that 4.25 years?
So if the board elects to do a payment on delivery, we would not have a service bond with that. So there would not be, we have contractual law that bonds them to that, but no monetary damages. We do anticipate that there would be delivery within that. They seem to be conservative in their estimations for time delivery.
And then the other things we talked about in the Finance Committee meeting was that I totally agree with standardization, understand that, but it does put us in a position to where if we need to order engines and we have to wait 4 years to get them, and so anyhow, long story short, it puts us in a new way of purchasing fire engines and ladder trucks as well. So staff talked about having a plan going forward to order these things well in advance, and we as the board are going to be getting these things to where we're going to be committing to them years in advance of where we actually go. So we may have several of these on order before we see the first one come in.
That's correct.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I also asked for a plan B in case these things don't work. I mean, in case we have to go to another vendor and all that. And I'm not asking you for that tonight, but I asked staff to look into a plan B should a need arise to where we may have to go with a different vendor. But with that, I'll call for a motion.
So moved.
No, second that?
Got a motion by Director Krieger, second by Director Evanger. Do a roll call vote. Director Evanger?
Yes.
Director Howie?
Yes.
Director Krieger?
Yes.
Vice President Luth?
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion passes 5-0. Fire Chief's comments. Chief?
Thank you, President DeMonico. Under personnel development activities on September 25th, the Chino Valley Fire District staff assisted the Fire Foundation in distributing our 50th AED and our 413th trauma kit in the Chino Valley to our local business partners. So congratulations to the Fire Foundation and thank you for your hard work. On September 27th, the Fire District High Performance CPR cadre in partnership with Pomona Valley Hospital Medical Center held a learn hands-only CPR at the shops. On September 29th, several suppression and administrative staff participated in what was already mentioned, the YMCA stair climb at the US Bank Tower in downtown Los Angeles. So pretty excited. This is typically held for suppression folks, but it sounds like this year some of our administrative folks attended and participated in that event. So congratulations to those folks. October 3rd, the executive management team attended the Mark Miller Smart Leadership Seminar hosted at the City of Chino Hills Community Center. Last week, several Chino Valley firefighters attended a week-long river and flood rescue course held in Blythe. So leading into our wet season, they're getting trained up, and we continue to increase our awareness and our ability to assist in those and participate in those wash rescues as we have 3 tributaries that will come through our district. Under CONFIRE items of interest, EMS Nurse Parham assisted CONFIRE and successfully hired several ECNS nurses. So that project is moving forward and will provide much more robust services to our community. Interim Director Cook continues to negotiate the potential terms of the request for proposal of ambulance services with the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, hopefully having a decision maybe by the end of this month, early next month for us. So we look forward to their decision and us moving forward in whatever position we get placed. Under organizational items of interest, on September 18th, we conducted a Human Resource Committee meeting. September 25th, we conducted a Finance Committee meeting on October 2nd. We conducted our Agenda Review Committee meeting, and I'm very excited to inform the board that we just confirmed our 40th CPR save. So we're a couple short on our board here, but we're at number 40. So I was mentioning that to some of the staff this evening, the fire personnel, and they said there's actually one more. So I haven't got the official word, but it sounds like we might be at 41. So thank you for all the hard work to staff. October 18th and 19th, the Board of Directors and Executive Management will conduct a leadership workshop. On October 21st from 9 to noon, the Fire District will have its annual open house event at the Training Center. So we want to invite all community members to come and join us. October 24th, Papa Chino's will honor first responders with an appreciation breakfast. October 24th, executive staff and I will attend a Confire Administrative Committee meeting. On October 25th, the Fire District will host the annual State of the Fire District. This year's format is a luncheon and is scheduled to take place at Station 61, and we're very excited. October 26th, command staff and I will attend the monthly San Bernardino County Fire Association meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, director reports. I'll start with Director Evans.
Okay, thank you very much. On the 16th, I participated, I attended the Chino Cares Emergency Preparedness Fair, and for the first time, they did a fabulous job. It was very, very well done. There was quite a few folks there. It seemed to get a lot busier after, it seemed like as the soccer games start concluding and the families come with the kids, and I think it was very, very well done, and it was nice to see our folks there as well. And there was a demonstration of our hands-only CPR, and it was great, really, really good event. And I know other board members attended that with myself. And on the 18th, I had an HR committee meeting, the Chino council meetings, had my meeting with the chief. We had our special meeting, and then after that, we ran over to the Chino Emergency Preparedness meeting. So that was a busy night, and the Smart Leadership with Mark Miller. That's great. I had the opportunity to attend that 4 years ago. It was his, I think it was chess or checkers the last time. I believe that's what it was. And this one was really good, and I liked that it made me reflect a lot, and giving myself some extra time so I could take care of things, which I failed to do a lot of times. So had 2 Carbon Canyon Fire Safe Council meetings, and a CSTA member service and professional development meeting. I had that last Friday, and I have the 3 things. I just want to, Carlos and Joe, congratulations. Thank you both for your leadership, not only to the district, but in our community. And it's been my pleasure to be able to work with both of you gentlemen. I truly enjoy it. And sorry, Carlos, but your sweet, beautiful princess took the show tonight. She stole the show from you. Just precious. So, the wellness program, thank you for bringing that forward for the presentation today, because that has evolved so much, and there were many items. I've heard talk about it, but I was really glad to have that firsthand presentation about and all the good work that we're doing and for our employees. So thank you very much for that. I'm gonna say that really quick, one thing is Art had mentioned on Monday the 16th about having the centennial for Sleepy Hollow. But if you have not had an opportunity to hear Paul Spreezy talk, he is our local historian, and if it's your first time go, I would just go peek in, even if you stay a little while, but you will learn a lot about our community for him. He's great. He's really, really good. We also, the Fire Safe Council, we are having our annual trunk or treat event for our Canyon folks, and that is on the 29th from 4:30 to 6:30, and any board members wants to stop by, wants to come by and just see what it's like. I know that DC Smith has been there before, and he said it looks like something right out of the Hallmark movies, and our own union, they cook all the hot dogs, they donate and cook the hot dogs, and they help us out every single year. So I really appreciate everyone for that. And I also want to just elaborate on one thing that Pete had said for the Top Golf event. I want to challenge each one of you to attend. They need to fill 33 bays, guys. So if you can just get maybe some of your friends who maybe want to get a bay and send them a copy of the flyer. I'm just sending out, if you want, they need donations, everything. So if you can help out, that would be amazing, okay?
I don't golf. Is there a place to sit and watch?
Yes, you can eat, and you can have a soda if you want. So, and with that, that's all. Thank you so much.
Director Howie.
He's put together his
I'm
money.
putting my cash ready for your,
You're mine.
Okay. See, it still hasn't been oiled, yeah? Okay. Wow, you pretty much mentioned everything that I attended last month, so that's pretty good. In the interest of time, I'll make this really short. But first of all, I want to congratulate Chief Soto and Ski Bar for 30 years. That's remarkable. That shows tremendous ability to hang in there and get through the whole thing, and it's not easy, but congratulations to you guys. It's quite an achievement for sure. I think you pretty much mentioned almost all my items. The Chino Cares emergency was great. The HR meeting, met the chief, state of the county. You missed one. So I did get to the state of the county for the supervisors in Ontario, and that's always quite a big event. Gosh, the parking was unbelievable. If you didn't get there early, you had to park across the street, across Holt Avenue, and the place was just packed. And I remember you guys there, so that was it was a little longer this year than normal, and the program was good, but it was longer. Usually it's a shorter program, then everybody gets to enjoy the food and the after hour. But it was good. The county's doing some remarkable and amazing things, and so it's grown so much in the years. Special board meeting, CIW, CIM, attended those meetings. Those were good meetings, but that quite a bit of personnel changes. The warden for the women's prison retired, and then they brought back a previous warden there now, just to fill until they find another one. And then the men's prison.
Rumor is he's gonna retire.
He's gonna probably retire too, and so the assistant, the deputy was in there doing the meeting, so. The prisons are, although the populations in the prison, they seem to be increasing a little bit. They were down, and they seem like they're getting more prisoners in there. And there's a lot of things have been proposed in the men's prison as far as trying to redo the men's prisons. That thing's been there since World War 1940 or World War II, whatever. And they seem to be, they're going to be doing a lot of upgrades to the prison. Okay, so my comments aren't such a short number of comments. Sorry about that. Boy, once you get on a roll, you know how that goes. And then for the wellness program, it means you've got to eat better. It makes me, I got to start exercising. When you see programs like that, you don't realize how important that is for you. And one other thing, that leadership conference in Chino Hills. It's not just about leadership and how you lead your team, or it's some great life lessons. When you think about that, applies really to your life also, not just for leadership. And that was very good too. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you for keeping it brief.
There you go, exactly.
Krieger, no promises for me. So as I mentioned before, I attended Fire Rescue International at the end of August in Kansas City. The sessions were fantastic. This is a week after the Maui fire happened. So there was a lot of lessons learned. The National Fire Administrator was there, was very blunt about, taking a look at kind of an after action side of it. The great thing that, and the chief and I talked about this, when I was there or afterwards, the fire district does, or the fire industry does a very good job of evaluating things afterwards, Monday morning quarterbacking it and saying, what could we do better next time? And this was an opportunity at the highest levels to see the National Fire Administrator say, we blew it. The big focus of the conference was one fire service working together across all branches. Well, the big failure there was military helicopters that had water dropping capabilities that were just sitting there that could have been used, but the communication between the local and the military wasn't there to ask for the assistance. So communications broke down from that. Now, would that have prevented, a wind firestorm happening? Maybe, maybe not. But it was really good to see that they were talking about that. I had an opportunity. There was a lot of talk about the Euro helmets. I know that some of us have discussed that. They look, instead of the traditional fire helmet, it looks more like a motorcycle helmet or a fighter pilot helmet, really technology based inside the helmets. There was a lot of talk about those. You know, the traditional fire helmet, I just don't see that going away quite yet, but some agencies are trying it. I had a chance to walk through an electric Rosenbauer engine. $2 million, LA County, I believe, has, LA City has one. And apparently, it holds like 18 gallons of diesel, and they said they have not refilled it all year, because they've just been able to charge it. So they've saved in the fuel cost, but it costs $2 million. As I mentioned before, a lot of talk about mental health and cancer prevention. So I'm really glad that we're discussing that here. I remember Keith Stroop really pushing cancer prevention many years ago, and I'm glad to see that that's moved forward in even a bigger way today. For my fellow board members, if you've not gone to Fire Rescue International, I think it's valuable to go, maybe not every year, but once every 3 or 4 years, because when we're making expenditure decisions like $2 million tonight on fire engines, it's good to be able to see what it is that we're spending our money on and to see what else is out there, so we can ask the right kinds of questions. I attended Chino Hills council meetings, school board meetings. School board's always entertaining. There was some discussion about birds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the meeting at the end. Met with the chief, subcommittee with Director Howie. I went to the grand opening of the new Stater Brothers building down in the Preserve. That was great. The chief was there and Director Howie was there as well. And just some community events. Seroptimus International attended the hoedown with many of the other board members as well. Went to the Chino Hills preparedness workshop, and we're looking forward. Director Luth and I will be pouring wine at the Chino Hills Wine Walk. We had a blast doing that the past couple of years. We'll be there again, and we will be right across. Our booth is right across from the Fire Foundation that's going to be pouring for that. So look forward to seeing plenty of people out there. And congratulations to Joe and Dr. Carlos for 30 years. It's fantastic. Looking forward to 10 more out of you. That's it from me.
Thank you. Vice President Luth.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, congratulations to Joe and Carlos. Wow, 30 years, thank you. Good job. Appreciated the update on the wellness. It's awesome to hear that, the hard work that's going into that. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, I too had lots of meetings. Chino and Chino Hills Emergency Preparedness. Both of those were excellent. They were run differently, but they both did a great job getting information out. Chino Council meetings, Airport Commission, Finance meeting, Agenda meeting, Special Board meeting, State of the County, the Mark Mills leadership. We had a board invoice review. I would along with President DeMonico, and I'll end my comments there. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Luth. I appreciate your comments, Director Krieger, on the progressiveness and those future things. This is the fire service. Don't mess with tradition. Okay. We've been accused of being 200 years of tradition uninterrupted by progress. So, with that being said, I've attended a number of those meetings as well as with IEUA and San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors, but Finance Committee meetings, Agenda Review, Chiefs meetings, Special Board meetings, both emergency preparedness fairs. It didn't seem like it was that busy of a month until I looked at my calendar and probably did something just about every day. But I do want to congratulate Carlos and Joe on your 30 years. It probably seems like a long time, but a short time at the same time. It goes by quickly. And the wellness program, I'm so glad we brought that forward for the board, because it's transitioned a lot over the last number of years, and we got to see the progress it's made, and we've done all that. And I'm not going to really get into much more comments, but you know, Art, I can't say it any better than you did about what's going on, and the fact that if you, I'm just so grateful this country doesn't have the devastation of the wars on our homeland as other areas. And I don't know where this is going internationally, but right now I'm just thankful that we don't have our troops with boots on the ground over there. So please keep all of those in mind and all of our troops in mind as well. And pray for them all. But tonight, we're going to adjourn our meeting in memory of former Chino City Council member Glenn Duncan and former Chino Community Liaison Donna DeBee. On August 29th of this year, our community experienced the loss of former City Council member Glenn Duncan. Glenn Duncan was a successful business owner, a public servant who also served on numerous boards and committees, volunteered for various community groups, and was the recipient of many community awards. Glenn served as the chairman of the Chino Rural Fire Protection District before he was elected to the Chino City Council. Glenn exemplifies altruism in every sense, embodying the spirit of giving without expecting anything in return. His legacy will forever remind us of the difference one dedicated individual can make in the lives of many. We extend our condolences to his wife Cindy and their children and family. On August 8th, former community liaison Donna DeBee passed away. Donna embodied the very essence of community spirit and was the recipient of the 2001 Fred L. Burns Community Service Award. Donna had a genuine love for this community and a warm smile. She brought people together and made every event an unforgettable occasion. Donna volunteered for various community groups, including the Chino Valley Fire Foundation and the Let It Be Foundation, the Kiwanis Club, and Seropolis Club. We extend our condolences to her daughter, Misty, and family. And with that, the meeting will be adjourned to a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District to be held on Wednesday, November 8th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at Fire District Administrative Headquarters Office, located at 14011 City Center Drive, Chino Hills, California, 91709. And this meeting is adjourned at 7:33. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for attending.